everyone, welcome. Pearl is back. Today I am going to tour a brand new $1 million home. Technically this home is 1025. Why the 25,000 is in there is kind of silly. I guarantee I can get it for $1 million. This thing is brand new, and this is a custom builder, and I thought this one would be interesting because it's got a lot of really neat touches in it that are not real common. So let's take a look at it. This is the outside, obviously, and this is called a side load garage because you have to turn to the side to get in. There is a lot next door where another home is going to get built. You can kind of see the difference in the color of the grass. That's the lot line. So you could have a house pretty darn close to you. Obviously, this is all brand new landscaping. The house is probably 90% brick. The upper part is concrete poured. I did like they put the gravel underneath the deck. This is aggregate concrete, just like what I have at my house, but they use smaller pebbles. Back here is like a walking trail, which is also part of the golf course. There is a golf course there now. This is part of the rough, and that's why the grass is taller there. But when we get inside the home, we'll see some guys playing golf out there. So yeah, we're gonna just walk back around. The deck is decent. I mean, this house is not very big for the price, but part of the price is just that it's very custom and it's brand new. This is one of the, because it's a new home, this is one of the guys that works for the construction company that built the home, and he was coming out to get all the lights turned on for my showing, but it wasn't necessary because I always turn the lights on myself. So this is walking in the front door, obviously, and look up here on the ceiling. There is this inlay, which is just really, I like that. It's really classy. This is just a coat closet. So you walk right in, and that is the basement access, and then the living area, and then the kitchen. So it is all kind of compact, all right here together. So you're getting, the finishes are very nice. Double ovens. This is like, I mean, it's the latest and greatest appliance package. But it's small. More inlay on the ceiling. I do like the black windows. If I ever got windows in my home, I would definitely do the black windows. I don't know if you could see it, but that was pointing to part of the golf course. And then I actually zoom in here so you can see the guys out here playing golf. You can see them out there, but again, this part, you don't really see the green from this house. Walking here is the laundry room. Has a nice counter and sink there. This is just like a second pantry. We're going to see the actual pantry in a little bit, but it could be a linen closet too. But this is the master bedroom on the main floor. I do like this wood windowsill. They have plastic on the carpet, but there's carpet in the master bedroom. This is the master bath, which is, it's just very pretty, but it's pretty simple. Nothing really extravagant. It's not really over the top. That's kind of why I think I like this. It's very custom, but not extreme. This is the linen closet for the master. And then this is the master closet. It's a pretty good size. Custom wood shelving. It's laid out pretty nice. Built-in dresser. got some, this house is staged, obviously, with a little bit of decoration because the builder is using this as their model home. And I think it's a 4-car garage, or that might be a 1 bay over there. I'll tell when we go back outside. It's a 3-car probably. And this is the hall bathroom, which is a very nice bath. And then here is the actual pantry. This is the pantry, which is very nice. Lots of wood shelving. Obviously, the builder still has some stuff in there. This they have set up as a home office, but I think this is like another main floor bedroom, and then that it's like a guest bedroom and a guest bath, and that's why it's not a half bath. Then we walk down to the basement. I do like the accent wall there, which is just basically made with 1x. And then moving down here to the basement, you've got like a small living area right here with like a bar. And I thought maybe that was wallpaper brick, but no, that is actual brick. Same with the island, that is actual brick. And this countertop is a leather. They call this leather granite because it's got like a soft touch, like it's got a grain to it, and it feels like leather. This is another area here, like a family area, gathering area. And then to the left here, you go through 2 separate bedrooms with a middle bath in between, and this is a full bath. It has its own linen closet as well. Back out, and then the bedrooms are just simple. They are carpeted, and they have the egress window so you can get out, and there's stairs going up that little pit there that they dig so that you can get out, and it adds daylight to a basement by digging those window wells out. This is like an unfinished portion of the basement, but I think it would make like a great home theater. You would just wall off that section where the mechanicals are. Yeah, and then back out here, and you can see just plain, but basically a box with a closet. That's what these the secondary bedrooms are, pretty plain. And then this leads to that unfinished portion of the basement again, just the different access. There's the furnace down there. But yeah, that's the house. This is kind of cool. They had this little area underneath this stair lit up where you could turn the light on for storage, or like make a kid's playroom or something down there. I think I just get a close-up of these. That's just kind of showing you how big that wood is. It's just, and that's all they do is just make a wood design, and it just adds a lot to it. But I mean, I would rather have that than a piece of art there, but that's just me. I like things more simple. But yeah, I think the home is really laid out nice. Just has a lot of elegant features. This mantle is really nice, solid wood and smooth, and then these floating shelves, those are actual wood, and they match, and then they have the floating lights in them too, which is nice. And I'm showing you the under counter lighting, so you can see that that's what the under counter lights, and there's a switch for that. I was looking for the trash can to see where they have this. That's like a spice drawer. That's not that, but it is not that, and so I'm getting close. It's this one. So there's the trash can drawer, which is nice because you don't have to look at the trash can. But yeah, that's it. It's really a pretty simple house. It's not really that extravagant. It's not really that big. and there's aggregate concrete here on the front porch as well. All these beams are covered in solid wood, which is, it looks really good. There's just, it's very rustic, that part. So you've just got, a little bit of rustic with modern. Yeah, I like that home. I really like that home, but I don't want to live in a neighborhood. So that would eliminate that house as a possibility for me, but it wouldn't eliminate the possibility of having a builder like that build me something like that on a piece of ground somewhere where I had some privacy. But I just have never been, well, I have to say I've never done it. I've never done the subdivision life. I've lived in a city on a busy road, but I had 3 acres. So I had neighbors still, and I had traffic, but I wasn't like in a neighborhood like that. But this is a golf course community, so anyway, I just don't know if I could do it. Now, one thing that I wanted to talk about, because this house is new. Think about this. Think about the advantages of buying new. Number 1, no one else has ever lived there. Number 2, everything is brand new. The roof, the furnace, the hot water heater, the water softener, the dishwasher, the refrigerator, the stove, the floors, the paint. I mean, everything. You're going to take the first shower in that home. It's, I would say something about the toilet, but the workers all have used that. But the advantage of everything being new is everything is under warranty. If anything breaks, it's going to be fixed for a while. So that I've got a client of mine that bought a new home, and he said that his plan is to do it once every 10 years, because as everything is about 10 years old, that's about when things start going bad. Like windows, when they're brand new, everything's great, but 10 years later, you can get like some of these dual paned windows, the seals will break, and that's when they'll get cloudy, or moisture will get in between the 2 panes, and every now and then they fail. In my house, in the time that I've lived here, I've had 2 glass panes replaced because they failed, the seals failed, and the glass got cloudy. But if you keep up on a house, it's not a big deal. But if you don't do it, then 2 become 4, become 6, become 8, and they're like $500 a pane, depending on the size of glass. And that's why it's important to upkeep things. But if you don't want to buy something that's older, you want to buy something new, and you would stay there 10 years, and then you would move. Here's the advantage. At 10 years, you don't have to replace the roof. The roof is still good. It's just 10 years old. The windows, they don't need to be replaced. They're just 10 years old, so they're still good. Probably, if you're lucky, and you don't have to be very lucky, all the appliances will still work. At 10 years old, they'll all work. So someone will be buying a 10-year-old house. So for example, it would be like today, me showing you a house built in 2015. If you looked at a house built in 2015 and you walked in it and the people had taken care of it, it will still present very, very nice. But then you just go do it again and let's just say you averaged 3%, which is a low appreciation number, 3% per year for 10 years. That means it's 30% more. So that would be $1.3 million that house would cost in 10 years. If you use 5%, then it would cost $1.5 million. So that means you can now go buy a brand new home that costs $1.5 million, and it really doesn't cost you anything. Assuming you've just paid your payments and everything, you're going to have enough equity that you can afford to just do it and go get another one. Or you may be ready to downsize a little bit. You just have a lot of options, but you never endure the upkeep. Like, for example, my last video, I was power washing my concrete. Now, at 10 years, depending on the sunshade areas, you may never even have to power wash anything. I mean, likely would not have to paint the exterior by then. Maybe it will be needed. The painted portions of the trim and things like that would need to be done, and potentially on this house, the solid wood beams out front would probably be ready for a new coat of stain. So there may be a couple things you would have to do to get it ready for sale, but pretty nominal things to get it presentable as it'll present pretty close as new. If you do just a few subtle touches, especially at the front, maybe paint the front door. Some things over time just where they get high traffic, they're going to get burgered up bringing packages in and whatnot. So that type of touch up would just be kind of normal prep of getting a house ready for sale. But doing that once every 10 years is probably a pretty smart move if you just do not want to worry about changing anything. For me, I just don't mind some of the home chores myself, and then when a few things happen here or there, I just fix as I go. It's like you're never gonna have to just one day wake up and say, oh my God, I need all brand new windows in my house. It's just not gonna happen, not with the windows that are in homes today. I mean, maybe if you buy a 50-year-old home that has original windows, but you just bought it, yeah, that might be on your list of things you want to do someday. But if you buy a halfway newer home, you likely don't ever have to do that. You just have to replace panes. The panes go bad. It's kind of strange to think of glass going bad. No single pane goes bad, but because they put two panes of glass together, the seal that they use around it goes bad, or it was compromised. It wasn't perfect during manufacturing, and so the flaw over time finally allows enough moisture in that it creates a fog inside of there, and it makes the window, you can't clean it because it's inside. They use dual pane glass today because of better efficiency. Like, it keeps your house warmer and cooler, because not only do they do two panes of glass, but they shoot gas, a special gas in there that's like insulatory. And also some of the glass, you can get certain levels of a tint, like to allow certain UV ray resistance, and you can get certain levels of it. But I don't think it's a half bad idea to think about buying new and then just doing it again. I guess the downfall would be if you lived in a subdivision and you loved your subdivision. I don't know, it could be something that you fall in love with the house, and then you just say, you just know it's time to start doing a few things. Because again, it's not like you're ever going to get hit with a roof, a furnace, an air conditioner, windows, and a stove and a refrigerator all at once. Sorry, my nose. It just doesn't happen all at once. I mean, you can get hit back to back with stuff, and you might. I've heard of like horror story trifectas, but most of the time when things happen, it's not all at once. Things happen over time. Like my house, I'm ready for a new HVAC system probably pretty soon. My furnace and AC. It was put in 2012 before I bought the house. So when I bought the house in 2015, it was 3 years old. So that was an advantage when I bought the house because I thought, okay, not going to have to worry about that for a while. Now I pay like $89 a year to have somebody come out and like look at them and make sure they're okay. And they do like whatever they do is like a HVAC tune-up. But I change my own furnace filters consistently, and I've never had a problem with it. I've never like woke up and said, oh my god, my furnace is broke, I gotta call somebody to come fix it. It's never happened, and I've lived here since 2015. But I know that now it's 13 years old, and so I think like 20 years is a long time on those. So it could happen anytime between now and 7 years. I'm expecting something. I'm gonna wake up and my heat's not on, or wake up and my air conditioner's not working. That's gonna happen. And one day I'll need a new roof. I put this roof on right when I bought it in 2015, so it's 10 years old, so probably 10 more years. And that's when I'll have to do that. But things will happen. Maybe my hot water heater will go out. You know, there's things to fix when you own a home, but you also have like a place that is just yours. A place that you come home and it's like, okay, this is where my animals live. This is my headquarters. This is the place I find peace. This is the place that nobody is allowed to come into except for me, unless I want them in here. It's just a good feeling to have a place of your own. And that when there is the big, I've made a YouTube short, and I think I've talked about it in some other videos about buying a home. There is a big movement against home buying. And of course, I'm a realtor. So when I talk about this, everybody says, not everybody, people have commented, oh, of course, you're a realtor. You want people to buy a home. But it is highly unlikely that I will ever sell anybody watching this a home. You guys are somewhere else. The number one city that watches my videos in the world is London, not even in America. So it's just highly improbable. So take the fact that I'm a realtor. I'm a realtor that doesn't need the money. I work to have a reason to be, so I can feel productive in society. I don't work for money. I wouldn't do it for free. But I don't work for money. I don't need to sell a house. I really do want to help people. And that's why I say that it is still a good dream to have, to buy a home, because a lot of it is psychological. It's not just financial. I think it's a good financial move, but there is a psychological aspect to owning a home that it grounds you. provide you an additional level of peace and security that I don't think you can ever get when you live in something that belongs to someone else. You can't take the same personal pride. Before you would do anything, you would need to ask yourself, can I have permission? There's a freedom aspect to it. Again, all of these things are like psychological. They're not financial. So leaving the financial part out of it, there are reasons to buy a house other than financial reasons. The biggest reason, in my opinion, the biggest reason that people should buy a home is because you do not want to get old and still struggle to pay rent. I mean, you know what you're paying for rent right now. Can you imagine what it will be in 20, 30 years whenever you are ready to retire? And I just think if you're living on retirement income, it's limited. I don't care really how rich you are, unless you're an ultra rich, you're still going to be limited as to how much you can spend to try to stretch that money out across your retirement. Or if you're just relying on Social Security, heaven forbid, it would be next to impossible to still pay rent, and have enough money to live. So you have got to buy something to have paid off eventually, because it's not a goal to have a house payment. The goal in home ownership is to one day be able to have something that you own. The bank doesn't own it. You own it, and no one can take it away from you. Now, you cannot pay property taxes and technically get it taken from the government, which is something that's kind of wicked in my opinion, but there are states like Florida that are talking about abolishing their property tax so that there is none. You can own a home and not pay property tax. So, but property tax is a fraction of what rent is. I have someone that I know, and she lives in Florida, and she wants to buy a house, and she's making about $100,000 a year, and she has about $50,000 saved up. But to pay 20% down, which is what she wants to do, because she doesn't want to pay PMI. If you pay less than 20% down, you have to pay a PMI insurance. And so she wants to put the 20% down, but she can't find anything that she feels safe living in for that amount of money. And so she's paying $1,800 a month rent. So $1,800, just round that up to $2,000 times 12 months, that's $24,000 a year. Let's back that down to 23. It's really going to be 22 something, but so let's say $23,000 a year. In 5 years, that's $100,000. Over $100,000, and it's gone. It's just gone. And that's how we lose our wealth, because they take it from us in ways that is just, it's like another thing would be like if you paid a like really high car payment, and you do the math as if you are comfortable paying a $500 car payment, and like you just keep trading your car, and like you never get a car paid off, you keep paying a car payment. Well, then if you do like $500 a month times 12, that's $6,000 a year, and let's say 10 years, that's $60,000, and you probably still have a $500 car payment. You don't own that car. That's $60,000 you've paid to drive a car, and you don't own one. It's and really $500 is a cheap car payment today. I know a lot of people with higher car payments than that. I just think we have to be very diligent. We just have to be smart with money if we're going to be successful. If we're going to be comfortable one day, we can't do what everybody else does and expect to get a different result. If we're paying rent and we're paying high car payments and we're not, we're buying things we don't need to buy. It's what robs us from ever becoming comfortable financially. And I just want everybody to be happy and comfortable, and there's a way to do it. There is a way. I don't care how much money you make, there's a way to do it. There is. And I don't know. I know it's hard. Life is hard, and these are those types of sacrifices, and having a delayed gratification mindset where you know that it's coming later, that you're working today to know that you're going to have a better life. And it seems like everybody wants it now. And the risk is if you work with a delayed gratification mindset, something bad could happen and you never experienced life. But the odds are that you're gonna live like I did. You're gonna live past 30 like I did. You're gonna live past 40 like I did. You're gonna live past 50 like I did. It's gonna happen, and if you don't pay the price, if you don't take those steps of discipline and sacrifice, it's gonna make for a very challenging life financially. And for me, like when I was young, financial stress was so painful. And so that's why I just said, that's it. I know I'm in financial stress right now. If I keep doing what I'm doing, I'm going to stay in financial stress. I've got to do something different. And if I don't do something different, I know that I've got to live with this financial pain. And if I thought my entire future was stuck with this financial pain, I don't think I could survive it, and it would not be worth it. And I don't know what I would have done when I was young. It hurt that bad, and so I was willing to do whatever I had to do to have a shot at a good life, and it paid off by being disciplined and sacrificing when I was young. I want everybody else to experience it. I hate that everyone has to kind of go through their own personal hell to get there. And I wish there was another way. Well, there is another way. Were you born with rich parents? Oh, me neither. Well, do you have some sort of special talent? Like, are you 6 feet tall, over 6 feet tall, like 7 foot tall? You could go to the NBA. Are you beautiful? Maybe you could go to Hollywood. If you have some amazing talent, maybe you can do it that way. And you never really have to sacrifice. You can just utilize the amazing talent that you got. When you were young, did your dad start teaching you how to golf when you were 4 years old? Oh, well then you're not Tiger Woods. Yeah, so you didn't get that lucky. Some of us didn't have dads that were good, didn't give us good guidance because they never got it and because they just didn't have it. It's not their fault, but you've got to own it. Doesn't matter what kind of dad you had. Doesn't matter what kind of life you had. It's possible. It is possible.